All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are absolutely unpacking the ultimate guide to standardizing your machine learning pipelines. Because let's be real, if you've been anywhere near the AI space lately, you know that building a highly accurate, incredible model is really only half the battle. So today, we're looking at the exact blueprint required to bridge that massive gap between a local, isolated experiment and a live, breathing production environment.
And to kick things off, let's dive straight into a genuinely terrifying industry statistic. It's estimated that a massive 87% of data science projects never actually make it to production. I mean, just think about that for a second. That is a staggering graveyard of abandoned Jupyter notebooks and totally wasted engineering effort. And the core reason for this? Well, each step in a machine learning workflow introduces massive complexities. This inevitably leads to completely convoluted tech stacks where teams just lose sight of the end goal.
So, to help you slay this model deployment monster, we're going to break down the MLOps blueprint into 5 distinct parts. First, the MLOps foundation. 2, data prep and model dev. 3, deployment and orchestration. 4, monitoring and security. And finally, 5, selecting your tool stack.
Starting right off with Section 1, the MLOps foundation. Because before we even think about touching any specific pipeline tools, we really need to lock down our technical architecture.
The absolute crucial point here is this insight pulled from the Let's Data Science July 2026 edition. Containerization is your absolute baseline. It has to be there before you introduce any MLOps complexity. Literally, if your team doesn't have a firm grasp on Docker and Kubernetes, you are essentially building your entire pipeline on quicksand. These container technologies are the solid bedrock that allows every other tool we're going to talk about today to function consistently no matter what environment you're in.
And this brings us to the perfect structured roadmap for our explainer today, the official AWS Machine Learning Engineer Standard. This defines, in black and white, exactly what an engineer must conquer to build, operationalize, and maintain machine learning solutions in the cloud. It's truly the foundational blueprint we're going to follow.
And what's super fascinating about this standard is the incredibly balanced weighting across the 4 AWS domains. I mean, look at how the effort is distributed. Data preparation is 28%, model development is 26%, deployment takes up 22%, and monitoring is 24%. It just beautifully proves that MLOps is absolutely not just about writing clever algorithm code, right? It demands rigorous, equal discipline across the entire system lifecycle.
Moving right along to Section 2, data prep and model dev. We're going to tackle the first half of this life cycle, which makes up that massive 54% chunk of the blueprint dedicated entirely to getting your data and your models prepped for the real world.
Now, to keep things from getting instantly convoluted during data prep, we have to look at KitOps. Traditionally, MLOps tools handle data, code, and models in total isolation, right? Which means you're constantly repackaging everything at every single team handoff. But KitOps acts almost like Docker, but specifically for your ML components. It treats everything as one single software unit based on Open Container Initiative or OCI standards. This makes those tricky handoffs between data scientists and DevOps engineers incredibly smooth.
Right alongside KitOps, you've got Data Version Control, or DVC, which is an absolutely essential open-source tool for reproducibility. It essentially gives you all the power and familiarity of Git, but it's engineered specifically for tracking machine learning experiments. It allows your team to easily reproduce fellow engineers' experiments. Just a quick heads up, though, you definitely need to watch out for storage overhead and performance dips if you're trying to track multiple versions of truly massive datasets.
Then there's Airflow. For the absolute heavy lifting of data acquisition and transformation, which is required in AWS Domain 1, Airflow is basically the industry standard. It's a powerhouse platform that helps engineers create and run complex ETL, that's extract, transform, and load pipelines periodically. The really great news is that it heavily supports Python. The catch? Well, you should definitely be prepared for a notoriously steep learning curve before your team actually feels comfortable using it.
Shifting gears into Domain 2, the actual model development phase, you've got some distinct, lightweight tools meant for very specific jobs. On one side, there's Meta's Hydra. It elegantly manages complex hierarchical configurations, which lets you run multiple jobs with just a single command. Awesome, right? And on the other side, you have HyperOpt, which completely automates that super tedious, cumbersome process of finding those perfect hyperparameters, and it even allows for distributed computing. Sticking to highly scoped tools like these usually results in way less operational overhead.
Which brings us to Section 3, deployment and orchestration. This is where we see how all that prep builds into the critical phase where most of that 87% fail, getting the model out the door and into the real world.
AWS Domain 3 outlines these exact operational steps very clearly. First, you have to evaluate performance, cost, and latency trade-offs to choose your actual deployment infrastructure. Then, you provision your compute resources, like making that crucial decision between using CPUs or GPUs. And finally, and arguably most importantly, you absolutely must set up strict continuous integration and continuous delivery, your CI/CD pipelines, to actually automate the orchestration of your ML workflows.
To execute those automated pipelines without losing your mind, continuous machine learning, or CML, is a fantastic open-source option. Fun fact, it's actually built by the exact same creators as DVC, and it's designed specifically to automate model training and evaluation. What makes CML so brilliant is just how beginner-friendly it is. It works exactly like GitHub Actions. It even displays the output of your ML experiments right there as GitHub comments, which makes team collaboration totally seamless.
But hey, maybe your organization doesn't want to juggle multiple lightweight tools. Maybe you need a true end-to-end deployment beast. In that case, MLflow is your answer. It covers the entire lifecycle with 4 core components: tracking experiments, packaging code, managing a centralized model registry, and providing formats for super quick cloud deployment. It is incredibly powerful, for sure, but just keep in mind that adopting an all-in-one platform like MLflow is going to require some significant training time for your engineers before they're fully up to speed.
All right, Section 4, Monitoring and Security. Your pipeline is totally automated, and your model is finally live. But the journey is definitely not over. Now we have to keep that system healthy, accurate, and completely secure.
Domain 4 of our AWS blueprint is all about continuous vigilance. You see, machine learning models aren't static pieces of code. Their performance degrades over time, so you must continuously monitor for things like data and label drift. On top of that, this domain demands that you constantly optimize your cloud costs, like strategically choosing between spot and on-demand instances, and you have to ensure least privileged security across your networks and endpoints using strict IAM controls.
Now, for tracking that insidious data drift and estimating post-deployment performance before your business metrics start tanking, NannyML is a truly amazing open-source Python library. It intelligently generates alerts if drift is likely to impact your model's performance. Just remember, as your operation scales up, you'll really need to sit down and evaluate if their free open-source version still meets your needs, or if it's time to upgrade to their premium enterprise offering.
And speaking of powerful tracking tools, Weights and Biases is an absolute powerhouse for monitoring models and visualizing datasets in production. It essentially combines the absolute best features of DVC, CML, and HyperOpt into one interface. But there is a pretty major caveat here. The free tier for Weights and Biases is strictly limited to academic use and single-user experimentation. So if you're planning to use it for a commercial product, you are going to need the compute resources to host it on-premise, or you're going to have to pay for their cloud infrastructure.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 5, Selecting Your Tool Stack. We've seen the AWS blueprint, and we've explored a ton of the bricks you can use to build it. So how do you actually go about picking the right stack for your specific organization?
The literature breaks this down into 4 strict criteria. First up, team expertise. Listen, if a tool relies heavily on Python and your team doesn't write Python, just look elsewhere. Second, budget. Always read the fine print and check the limitations of so-called freemium open source models before you commit. Third, scope. You have to decide if you want specific lightweight tools to save overhead or if you really need an all-in-one behemoth. And fourth, documentation. Before adopting any open source tool, jump into their Discord or Slack channel. Honestly, gauge how fast and helpful their community support actually is.
So we've mapped out the rigorous AWS lifecycle, all the way from data prep right through to live security monitoring, and we've armed you with some of the very best open source tools available today. But now the real work begins. Take a hard look at your architecture today and ask yourself, are you relying on a totally convoluted dev stack, or are you actually building a streamlined pipeline? What is the one tool you need to implement tomorrow to ensure you aren't part of that 87% failure rate? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy building.